Kia ora e te whānau. How is everybody today? And here we have Ali Evans. Kia ora, Ali. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Now, Ali was in this Fire and Fury documentary. Her footage and images and words were used in the making of the documentary. And I wanted to touch base with Ali and just basically get her thoughts and a bit more context about what was used in this flop-umentary. What was your first initial reaction to the documentary when you saw it, Ali?
I was a bit shocked because she had led me to believe that they really wanted to hear our side of the story. And I was constantly talking about the vaccine injured and wanted to hear about that. And then to find, I realised after the interview, the second interview, that I'd been stitched up. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is not good. So I've been stressing about that since then, because I really, and then once it came out, I was a bit relieved that I at least knew what I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And then the more I'm sort of listening, and I just cannot believe the lies. And I had to say something. So
How did you first come into contact with, sorry, was it Paula that interviewed you?
Paula, yeah. Well, I'd been out holding the line, and so Val came across them first. And I saw them was when Val and I had lost each other, and then I found her and saw her first, and I think you see it there where we saw each other and embraced, and then I realised there was a camera on my face, and I went, "What's going on?" And then when they first asked me, I said, "No, you're mainstream media. You tell lies. No." And they kept saying to me, at this stage, we'd gone over and we were looking at our stuff because the police had trashed all our stuff. And so we were just sitting on the fence line, bawling our eyes out and filming, because, we were camped on the church grounds. So our stuff was the first to go. And so they were watching us, and they kept saying, well, Paula kept saying, we want to hear your side of the story while you were here. So I thought, well, they've already got me on camera. And so I thought, well, okay, Megan's here, believed her when she said she wanted to hear our side. So I did the interview. And then when, they left and all of that, and then the rest of the day just turned into some nightmare. And I keep getting annoyed that the media keeps saying how it turned violent. The only violence was from the police. And I think towards the end of the day, they had incited violence, and there were people in there that definitely were put in there to be violent. But so like a week or so later, we get home and I get a message from Paula again saying, how was I? And and I told her, the people you need to see are the interview of the vaccine injured, not me. They're the ones. That's why I was there. I've lost my job, but I'm still okay. I've still got my health. They haven't. And then I said no, because I just didn't trust them. But somehow I had sort of been talked into, no, give them a chance, and so I did. And I didn't want to leave Val on her own, because she'd already said yes. So,
sure. Sorry, Ali, can I just stop you there for a minute? We seem to be having some audio issues. Can I ask what sort of microphone you're using?
Just on my phone.
Just on your phone there. There's nothing next to the microphone that might be interfering?
No. So it was sitting on something. So, yeah, is that better?
No, it's coming across quite crackly. Is it okay with you if I just drop you out of the stream for a second and get you to rejoin?
Yeah, I could get my earphones.
Yeah, we can see if that works. That would be great.
Yeah. So do we need to start again?
No, we're still live. Everyone can see you right now, what you're doing. We've just got a few people mentioning in the comments that the audio is cracking a bit, and I can hear it cracking on my end as well. I'm not sure what's up with that. Just while you're looking for your earphones there, Paula, in the documentary, she described you as someone who had lost her job in the health sector after she chose not to be vaccinated. Is this a true representation of who you are?
Yes. Yeah,
Yep.
I got mandated out of my job, yes.
What part of the health sector were you working in?
I was doing support work looking after tetraplegic patients.
Nice. Okay, I'll just let you get sorted with your earphones for a second.
How's that?
That's sounding much better.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, it's still a bit cracky, but we'll just bear with it. Sorry, whānau at home. Now, I've got a few questions. I just wanted to address some of the stuff, some of your imagery that was in the documentary, and I just wanted to get a bit better context on it, because I've found that the more people I've spoken to that have featured in this documentary, the more things that have just been sort of snipped and taken out of context. So there was one part in the documentary where you said yourself, the media are lies, and then the footage sort of turned to Paula saying the audience have been shifted into believing in a completely alternative media universe, so their realities are splintered. What are your comments on this? Do you believe that your reality has been splintered?
No, I cannot believe the minute you say, how is it the government are one source of truth? There are so many doctors, lawyers, so many, not just in New Zealand, but around the world, and they're all being censored. How is that possible? And so I've got family overseas, and they were telling me stuff that was going on, and things just didn't add up. And then, why are we not hearing any of this on the news? And the more I searched, the more I just thought things aren't right. So I just sort of delved in from there. And all you hear is the minute you go against the government narrative, oh, you're just crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist, or I just
no, that's not
and I get quite frustrated that even you hear these, like I was listening to, was it Sean Plunkett the other day, and they just shoot anybody down when they actually haven't. You can tell they haven't even investigated themselves. They just, it's just a conspiracy theory. If you do some research before you shoot it down, at least get informed. And that's the thing, they don't. So I find that quite frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paula also made mention as saying that they, and I assume that when she says they, she means basically everybody aligned with the freedom movement. She says they genuinely believe that you're an agent of mainstream media, and that mainstream media is propaganda merchants for the governmental or intergovernmental conspiracy that's taking place, much in the same way as I'm paid, Paula's paid, that she's a paid shill for these things as well. So do you believe that mainstream medias are sort of agents for the government? Because they flipped from you straight to going into that, which sort of there seems to be like they're trying to make a connection between what you're saying and conspiracy theories. What are your thoughts?
They've got a script, and you just look at how much they've been paid. they've got a script and they're following the script, and anybody that deviates from that script gets censored. Science is all about discussion and debate. So I don't know. And I just see so many things that really weren't adding up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen screenshots of text messages or Facebook messages between you and Paula. Sorry, both text messages and Facebook messages, as it wasn't it. So I've seen these with my own eyes, and I just wanted to address a couple of the things that were in the messages between you and Paula, if that's okay. So, in one of the messages that you sent between each other, so Paula messaged you. So you initially declined an interview with her via these messages. I could see loud and clear. And after you declined the interview on the 2nd of April, when she messaged, she said, and I quote, "Even though our views on some things might be different, I am fair." This was a quote from a message from Paula to you. Even though our views on some things might be different, I am fair. In hindsight, what are you thinking about this message that you received from Paula?
Yeah, definitely not. She was nice and polite, and you can see in the messages. When I look back, I realised she didn't actually really acknowledge or answer. When I said, I sent her a link to the vaccine injured. They were having a meeting down there, and have you talked to them? And then there was did you look at the link? And when I looked back later, no, I don't think she'd even bothered. And then I think Val sent her something, and that she twisted that. And then on the second interview, they interviewed us. When they interviewed us, they, where are we getting our information from? And they just discredited everything I said. I mentioned, so many doctors around the world, and then they wanted someone here in New Zealand. So then I mentioned Matt Sheldon, I think it is, and Dr. Kennedy. They shot that down as well. And so whatever I said, they just disputed and just didn't get anywhere, really. So
yeah. So further into those messages, on the 4th of April, you sent a message through to Paula Penfold saying you've reconsidered the interview request and you've decided to accept after all. And you received a message back from Paula Penfold, and I'll just read out a quote from that text message. It says, "I'm really pleased you've decided to say yes. I understand that it feels like a big leap of faith, and that's because it is. But I think it will be really helpful to hear from you and understand your concerns in a better forum than the heat of that day."
Yeah.
A better forum. Do you believe that you were given a better forum to discuss things in?
No. One of the things I thought on the day, I was pretty stressed out. You could see I was, respirations up. I was breathing. I was stressed. I was still in my pajamas.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have a chance to think. So, I thought, well, I really should do it. I've been told, she said she would give me a hear us out why we were there. Didn't want to leave Val. And I thought, well, she's already got me in a bad light. I might as well try and improve on that. So that was sort of why I did it. But then halfway through the interview, they then brought out this video of me moving them on and trying to, because I didn't realise that photographer was part of, I just thought he was, mainstream media, and I sort of just went along with the crowd, sort of moving them along, because you just saw them telling so many lies, and I was trying to defend our cause, what they were doing to us. It was just quite emotional.
So you were trying to move them away from Parliament?
Well, I just wanted them to protect. I wanted them to stop spreading lies, because I'd seen because I had a couple of trips down to Wellington, and I'd seen how the media were saying all sorts of things about us that were not true. You know, there was no poop flown around. There was no, it was just this beautiful community. It was so
It really
much,
was, wasn't it?
just,
It was
look, because,
amazing.
yeah, I went down there twice. I went down there and went home because my brother was getting married and all that. And even there, I went to his wedding, but I wasn't allowed to be part of his wedding because I wasn't vaccinated. So, yeah, and but I missed it. You know, I was camped next to vaccine injured. I was, you know. So anyway, I was really quite emotional and wanted to protect what, you know, stop them spreading lies. Yeah, because we'd seen people, you know, before sort of gathering information, and then you saw how that they twisted it. So, so anyway, they brought out this video, and I thought, yeah, that's me. But then she then kept asking me 4 or 5 times and re-asking the question and implying, why are you so violent? Are you always this violent? You know, and sort of just implying that I was violent. So my final comment with her was, if you come into my home spreading lies, I'll tell you to leave. And Freedom Village felt like my home.
Yes, yes. I think most of us felt the same way about Freedom Village. It really did feel like home. So further into these messages, on the 12th of August, Paula messages you to say that the documentary is going to be published on Sunday. And I'll quote from this message. She says, "Thank you very much for agreeing to be interviewed. That was good of you." It sounded a little bit, had a bit of an ominous tone to it. What did you get from that message? That was good of you.
I just felt once we'd done the interview, we'd served our purpose, and now, yeah, the gloves were off type thing. And yeah, so I was, what's coming? Yeah, I was quite.
How has this documentary affected you? You know, how have you been feeling since seeing this? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. You know, like I haven't been targeted like Chantal and Voices and all of them, so they're probably a bit more equipped to handle stuff like that because they're used to it, whereas I'm normally like to prefer to stay under the radar. But you know, they so well, yeah, I'm just hoping. If you could do
it all over again, would you still speak to them about, you know, how you feel and how everything's affecting you? And when I say speak to them, I mean mainstream media.
Probably not. But then, if it wakes a few people up to what's going on, perhaps I should. I don't mind being a fool guy if it wakes a few people up.
Well, it has certainly generated conversations, and that is the really good part about this documentary, is that it has brought a lot of things to light and people are talking about it, which is awesome. Now, I just had one last question. I was just wondering if you had any advice for anyone else if they are approached for an interview by mainstream media. What would your advice to them be?
Be very careful and perhaps not as naive as me. I don't know. How do we've got to interact. We've got to show the corruption that's going on or show the disparity. You know, if we just, you know, block them, it just becomes two separate, you know, them and us. I don't know how to get through. We're all trying so hard, but and to me, it's so obvious now. I don't know how people aren't seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just trying to do my bit.
You certainly are. We're all just trying to do our bits, aren't we?
We are. Yeah.
We are. Hey, well, Look, I don't have any other questions for you, Ali. Was there anything you wanted to chat about before we wrap this up?
Um, no, just keep fighting, just keep hanging in there. We need to call them on their dishonesty. Call them, like I've seen a few posts, and they're implying how the protest was getting more and more violent, and there was even one where I saw how they'd missed how violent it was getting. It wasn't. We've got to call them on their lies.
Yes.
I don't know how we can prove it, but
I think they're doing a good job of calling themselves out in some lies, to be honest, in some
yeah,
ways, which is really good. It makes our job a bit easier. But
yeah, yeah,
we'll just
and
keep
yeah,
doing what we're doing.
yes, and even like, on the day I was so incensed that, the police, their mandates have been lifted. I was just there. I wanted my mandates lifted so I could go back to work.
That's right. That's all we all wanted, was for the
Yeah,
mandate to end and the passport system to end, and that COVID response bill to maybe get thrown in the trash where it belongs. But
yeah.
yeah, anyway, thank you so much for making time to chat with me today, Ali. I really, really appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you in Wellington on the
Yes,
23rd.
yes. Oh, well, me
Nice.
too. Yeah,
All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and a
cool.
big hello to Val from me.
Great, thanks.
Ka kite,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.